Hi. So it's currently almost 1 a.m. and I just want to express my late night thoughts because typically I don't really record this late at night, but I've been thinking about a lot of things, tonight. It's currently like Saturday. Well, it's pretty much almost Sunday morning as I'm recording this. I'll probably upload this tomorrow, but yeah, for all my returning viewers, I just want to say I really appreciate all your support lately. I know a lot of you watch pretty much all my videos, and I do notice a lot of you left a comment on pretty much all my videos. So I really do appreciate that. And for all your new viewers out there, I just want to put out my raw perspective in this channel, and yeah, expect to see a lot of unconventional videos. That's all I'm gonna say on this channel, because typically on this channel I just want to be myself and just share you my thoughts in that day. Maybe you can resonate and maybe feel better about yourself. And I know a lot of people have similar feelings as me based on the comments I've gotten. So yeah, hopefully this video does help anyone who, stumbles upon this video. But yeah, before I ramble any longer, I just want to just pretty much say that this video is just gonna be a bit freeform. Gonna be talking about pretty much how tonight, I've been feeling rather lonely. And generally speaking though, like loneliness, I would say it's a very broad topic. Some people might think of loneliness as, you just feel like you don't have friends or you don't have anyone to talk to, right? That's the typical definition of what someone would call loneliness. But tonight, I just feel like, even though I do have people to talk to, like a lot of you reached out to me on Discord, like even outside of my Discord server, you reach out to me. I really appreciate it. But yeah, and even some former friends reach out to me. I was able to, you know, reconnect with one of my former best friends, which is great. But it just feels like, even though I have a support system, right? I have my family. I have, like, friends that I reconnected recently. I might even make more. And the thing is that I consider everyone in my Discord server like, part of my family, almost like external family. But the thing is that I feel like, even if I have like so many friends right now, like true friends in real life, or even one or two best friends in real life that I'm super close to, and I just feel like I still feel very lonely. How I would describe this feeling is that I just feel like they can't really understand how I'm truly feeling. It's almost like this feeling is locked up in my heart. I cannot unlock it and let it out. It just feels like no one really fully understands me. Feels like if I disappear today or tonight, no one will really notice me. It just feels like sometimes I just really just wish that I wouldn't feel like this. It's a really hard feeling to describe. I'm really sorry if you don't understand, but have you ever felt like when you're super bored or when you don't have much things to think about, right? Like typically, like let's say your day is probably busy in the morning, right? Probably have to do a lot of chores. You have to go to work, maybe go to school. You have a lot of meetings to go to. But when you're by yourself, when you don't have entertainment with you, when you don't have a phone on your hand or a TV in the background, when you're just in silence, you start to realize how lonely you really are. Even if you have people to talk to you and friends, it's almost like us humans, we are always constantly overstimulated by things, whether it's through, social media. It could even be just straight up reading a book. Like, chances are you're probably not going to just sit around doing nothing. But I would advise you to try this exercise. Just sit on on a chair stare at a wall and just really think about things other than, your priorities, right? Like your work, homework, or just don't do anything and just think. And then you will probably have a similar feeling as me right now. I just feel like us humans, we really need to preoccupy ourselves with something. If we aren't busy, we're gonna start having negative thoughts. That's how I feel. So I feel like it's kind of almost like scary in a way because I really would rather just be busy, forget about this. Because I realized when we're on our phones, right? If you're reading a book, doing your homework, going outside for errands, you're probably not going to be focusing on a lot of thoughts and feelings in your head. And it's almost like a lot of these feelings end up regressing in our head subconsciously. The only time it's being processed is like, the moment right before you fall asleep, you start processing like pretty much everything you've done in, during the day. I feel like this is the type of feeling you get. Like the feeling you get when you're trying to fall asleep, but you have constant thoughts in your head. It's almost like this type of loneliness is really interesting because I feel like even if I talk to someone about how I'm feeling right now, like how lonely I am, I would still feel lonely. Like I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels this sometimes. Like maybe I'm just have too much time on my hands right now, but yeah. So another thing I really want to say is just that I realize how overstimulated we are in general. Us humans, we are always doing something in our society. Our society is very fast paced. We usually have a lot of things to do in the morning, whether it's taking care of your kids or it's going to school, working. We don't really have much time to think and process our own thoughts. It's almost like us humans, we don't really have time to take care of our mental health a lot of times. Like, especially for all your busy people out there working 9 to 5, going to school. I get it. And sometimes I wish society wasn't like this. I wish sometimes society just allowed humans to, form stronger bonds with each other. And yeah, and something a bit more off topic I want to touch base on is also how like relationships just feel very superficial now. Like I recently watched another YouTuber which mentioned how like they were pretty much single and they don't really trust dating apps. For me, I just feel like it kind of makes sense. I feel like a lot of social media and apps right now, like the friend making apps such as like Bumble, Best Friends Forever, Tinder, Hinge, a lot of these dating apps just feel like they're very forced in terms of like how they match you with someone, and it just doesn't feel genuine or authentic. Like I feel like a lot of the times the friends I did make in the past, first glance, we don't really have much in common. I feel like sometimes it's important to embrace other people's differences when you're choosing your friendships. Obviously, not everyone's meant to be your friend, but it shouldn't be a perfect fit. Like no one is exactly a perfect fit, and you shouldn't just look at someone from the surface. You should look at them from their heart and soul, deep within themselves. And it's unfortunate. And I feel like that's the issue with today's society, and that's why even if you do make a friend, it just feels like a lot of the times it just feels superficial if you just talk to someone online. So that's why I sort of recommend you all just try to make friends outside of social media. But I don't think it really solves the full problem because I feel like in our capitalist society, everybody's hustling, right? Trying to make money and try to just live comfortably ultimately. I feel like everybody is sort of preoccupied with their own, family and people they love. And I feel like humans are very disconnected nowadays in society, much more disconnected than before. Like, for example, if you're going shopping in an outlet, you're probably not going to just say hello to someone randomly walking in the opposite direction of you, just like, they're your neighbor. And I feel like not many people talk to their neighbors anymore. I mentioned this briefly in my Gen Z video, like Gen Z video, where people just don't really treat others like their neighbors anymore. Like people walking on the sidewalk. People rarely say hi nowadays. I think that has to do sort of contribute to why we feel kind of lonely now and why I feel lonely. It's because it feels like people are less human now. People feel more formulated, and it seems like everybody is shut inside their own box. Doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert, it just feels like everyone has their own plan in their heads that they're constantly asked to follow. Like, even if you do it subconsciously, it just feels like no one really like understands each other outside the superficial feeling. It's like a lot of relationships just feel very superficial, right? For example, like when I am at work, I would I would say hi, and then someone say how are you, and I say I'm good, and you, it just feels very fake, and it just feels like everyone just talks a certain way just to stay professional. I wish more people just you know talk how they truly talk, like, right? It feels like there's a lack of sincerity and authenticity nowadays. And I remember back then, like when I first moved to Canada, my neighbors would always say hi. It was in the 2000s. It seems like nowadays my neighbors really say hi to me, and people in the sidewalk. It's like I don't exist anymore. I'm invisible. That's why I don't really understand, like, and I feel like it's kind of crazy, right? Like when I had friends, like lots of friends, I feel like I still felt lonely in a way. I don't know why, but it's really strange. Like this feeling. Like I'm really apologize if you don't understand. This feeling is very difficult to explain to you. It's pretty much the feeling that no one on earth will ever understand me. I feel like I'm alone in my thoughts. I just want someone to just, I don't know if even comforting me makes me feel better, because it feels like no one can really solve the feeling I am right now, like feeling right now. And yeah. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you ever felt like this, like where you just feel very lonely just because, you know, you just feel like no one really understands you. No one can really fully grasp the feeling you're getting currently. And I feel like this definitely is due to, how society kind of functions currently. A lot of people just end up, you know, doing things a certain way just because it seems like it's socially appropriate in a society. If it's out of the norm, if it's unconventional, we would not do it. Like that's why a lot of people I feel like aren't too like nice to people. A lot of people are more closed in. They aren't very open minded. And everybody seems like they have their own, like, I wouldn't say cult, but their own like ideology they follow, like how in politics the liberals and conservatives are super divided. If you are meeting with someone in the opposite faction or like political party, which you wouldn't identify them as a human, you would identify them as a freaking monster. It's like people nowadays judge people so densely. I know this probably goes way back. Like people judge people by their skin color, ethnicity, the way they look, the way they talk. I just wish humans didn't really judge each other that harshly. I feel like a lot of the feeling I'm feeling right now, like loneliness, just has to do with how fake people are nowadays and how hard it is for someone to understand your vulnerability. and really fully understand you. It's like if you are very emotional, if you are very vulnerable, you're seen as weak in today's society. People with tough skin, people who show very little emotion and always happy are looked well upon. Like people praise those people. You're probably more likable, more charismatic if you just, always happy. And this goes back to the Joker movie I watched recently. I sort of really resonate with Arthur Fleck, which I feel like a lot of people don't really see someone deep within themselves. They only look at how they look from the surface, whether that's their parents and the way they talk. It just feels like everywhere I go, it's hard to find people that feel similar ways as me. For example, even on YouTube, it feels like it's very rare to find people who really are vulnerable. Everyone's trying to sell a product. Everyone's really just trying to, speak things from the lens of, a societal appropriate way of speaking almost. But I don't know. I apologize. I really apologize if I repeat myself a lot. I just really hope you get the message. And if you also feel the same way as me, you're not alone in this. I just feel like our generation, the way the world has shifted into the information age, where we pretty much gather all our information online. People rarely go really into a physical library anymore. And everything's pretty much online, really closed in, and shut a lot of people off making true, real, meaningful connections. And there's another YouTube channel I've liked a lot. It pretty much asked, like, pretty much the people in that channel usually knock on people's doors, ask them if they can cook them food. I feel like that's very, admirable. I feel like more people need to just be open. Now, I feel like nowadays, if you knock on a stranger's door on their footsteps, they would probably think you're trying to sell them something, like Girl Scout cookies, or sell like an ad, like a product. It's almost like people nowadays don't really see others as humans. They see other people as, products. And now I'm starting to wonder if AI feels more human than us nowadays. Like, AI probably gives better advice than humans. Like, it's kind of crazy how things change in our world. Now, I'm a Gen Z. I was born in the late 1990s, but definitely I noticed a huge shift in the way people act. And I feel like there's a massive loneliness epidemic nowadays. Like, people, I feel like, tend to feel much more lonely nowadays. But that's pretty much how I feel, really. I won't ramble anymore. That's just how I feel currently. And hopefully you can sort of resonate, understand. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to keep this as an open mind discussion. So feel free to expand on, what I said in this video in the comments. And that's basically it. Thanks for really listening to me. I'm probably going to go to sleep really tired. And I know I didn't really talk too much about my life for all my returning viewers, but probably do that next few days and weeks. But have a great night or day, all of you, if you're watching this in the morning. And take care. Have a great rest of your night and or night day.